Here we go. Here we go. So listen up, everyone. Listen up, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you so much. We're starting out today's podcast with me and the lovely Maria today. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some interesting things today. So, Maria, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Hello, everyone.
All right. All right. For those of you that haven't joined us yet, I want to start out by saying Security Tales Operational. Today, we're going to be doing a Firewall special. This one, I'm going to give my dedications out. It's called The Piece of Shit of Massachusetts. So, you ready? So, this one's about the Operation Firewall. It's a very special show for me today. Okay, Maria, you want to get up and just turn that slightly? Because every time I lean out, I'm out. So just turn it slightly. No. Turn the stick.
This?
Yeah, now turn it. No, yep. A little more. Perfect. Boom. We're in. Because I tend to move a lot.
Is that why you called me in?
Yes, exactly. So listen, everybody. So today I'm going to go with a full exposure. So I asked my sister to join. I'm going to go to an open blast today. Welcome back to the Security Tales. I'm your host, Filipe Monteiro. Today, we're exposing 56 predators taking off Massachusetts streets in a massive statewide crackdown called the Operation Firewall. I'm being joined today by my co-host, Maria Maxim Monteiro. Maria, welcome, or Monteiro Maxim. Maria, welcome aboard today.
Sorry, honey.
Huh? I guess that was for you, Steve. All right. So we're going to go right to the point. This wasn't one town. This wasn't one ring. These were predators scattered like roaches across the entire Commonwealth, from Pittsfield to New Bedford, from North Adams to Natick. This is what throws me off. Get ready, Maria, because I'm going to be asking you some questions from a non-law enforcement background. Okay? You ready for this? This was ages 18 through 75, business owners, homeowners, fathers, one woman, people who took normal and who are normal, I should say, and are absolute filth on the inside, right? So I don't understand how they could be normal. Okay, we're naming every predator that law enforcement made public and calling out every town where these monsters hid in plain sight. So, Maria, what do you think about that before we move on? I just wanted to say something. So how do you feel about predators living next door to you or anything?
It's pretty scary. My stepson, Kyle, is a cop in Drake, and he had a situation where he had to assist FBI, and I think it was a male that was somewhere in his 20s living in the neighborhood, and,
Assist with what, though, Mary?
Arresting him because he was a predator, and they found stuff.
A pedophile or a rapist?
That I don't know for sure.
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Sad.
So we're gonna do this today. We're gonna start out by saying you're a piece of shit in plain English. So statewide overview: 56 arrests, 34 search warrants executed, 229 electronic device seized. Charges included enticement of a child, possession of child pornography, failure to register as a sex offender, rape and assault, and battery on a child 18 to 75. One female, the rest were males. No profile, could be your neighbor. This could be your neighbor. State police, right? They clustered this all together. One Pittsfield, 6 predators, highest number in the entire state. So my shout out to Donnell Nebar. He's 31. You're a piece of shit. Enticement of a child under 2. Thomas Cushy, you're 57. You're a piece of shit. Enticement of a child. Michael Rue, 55. Enticement of a child. You're a piece of shit. Jason Hadzill, 57. Enticement of a child. You're a piece of shit. Robert Sabin, 69. Enticement of a child. You're a piece of shit. Michael Page, 57. Failure to register as a sex offender. You're a piece of shit. Jason Hadswell. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep repeating it. You deserve it. You're a piece of shit. Wayne Bingel, 71. Failure to register. You're a piece of shit. George Wetherill, 40. Failure to register. Piece of shit. Darren Ruiz, 19. Rape and assault. A battery on a child. Charged separately. Ties to Pittsfield cluster. You say Pittsfield? 6 predators officially in additional cases tied in. A city of 40,000 people with this many hiding among family. That's terrifying. A cluster of 2 in North Adams, 5 predators. One of them named John Teffa, 27, enticement. Joseph Gagnon, 67, enticement. Zach Comstock, 51, enticement. Christopher Tague, 38, enticement. Raymond Martin, 49, enticement. Failure to register. You say a small town of 12,000 people, Maria. 5 predators. Imagine that ratio. 3 clusters. You're all pieces of shit. New Bedford, 5 predators. Jared Tracy, 40, piece of shit. Enticement. Fabio Demario, 32. Enticement. Theron Cameron, 63. Enticement. You're all pieces of shit. Names that were sealed. So that means some of them I do not have access to them because they're sealed. You say New Bedford, 5 predators. They're named 2 sealed. They might be hidden, but they're not forgotten. You're a piece of shit. So, cluster of 4, we have Springfield, 2 predators. Bernard Jordan, 46, enticement. Zachary Gretchen, 35, enticement. You're both pieces of shit. Solo arrest by town of Agawam. Edwin Devin Batista, 23, rape, assault on a child, Beckett. Piece of shit. Christopher Morin, 53, failure to register, Great Barrington. Henry Glazer, 58, failure to register, Lennox. Drew Kelly, 37, failure to register, Natick. Graham Simmons, 75, possession of child pornography and lives in Grafton. Pieces of shit. Only female, Rebecca McCoy, 46, possession of child pornography. You're a real piece of shit. Towns with the rest, but no names released. You call them out collectively. Lynn, Dedham, Plymouth, Chelsea, Worcester, Mashpee, Hyannis, Danvers, Fitchburg, Brockton, Quincy, Holyoke, Peabody, Cambridge. You say these towns had arrests too. All these names were sealed, everyone. All these names were sealed. Investigation's ongoing. Doesn't matter. Trash is trash. So, built-in question. Here's a question for you, Maria. I want you to answer it naturally. After Pittsfield cluster, Maria hearing 6 predators from one city, what does that make you think about how close to home this really is? After New Bedford, Maria, as a regular person, does it shock you that these aren't young guys in hoodies? They're 40, 50, 60-year-olds. After the female arrest, Maria, do you expect a woman to be involved in this? What does that say about how far this problem reaches after listing solo arrest? So, Maria, just give me a few answers on that question, you being a female.
Whew, this is deep. Well, there's the whole thing with, what was that? The Hawaiian kid or something, where the teacher was seducing her.
Oh, yeah. She got pregnant.
Excuse me. She was seducing.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, and they ended up getting married, and I think she ended up doing jail time. And then there was another teacher that was beautiful blonde lady that people were so controversial. So unfortunately, a predator is a predator, whether it's male or female. I do believe there's probably more female predators, but people are afraid to call them out. And I think a lot of times, especially young guys in like junior high, high school, pubescent type of ages, have a beautiful teacher. And I think there are teachers that are in the school system that would be a predator. So I'm not surprised. I'm shocked that there's not more women.
Really?
Yes, because I think sometimes, don't you remember being in school? Like we had a hot Spanish teacher and all the guys wanted to hook up with her.
No.
So I think if there was a possibility of that, I don't think they would consider it as being something like that was predatory. I think they would think it was more like a notch on the belt, unfortunately.
So I was going to say, so do you feel females get treated less than males do in this type of crime?
I believe that most people would not come out and say they had a sexual interaction with a adult female. There was like even on the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Who's that?
Lou, the attorney.
Huh?
The attorney.
Oh, it's the attorney. Probably because I'm talking about predators. Maybe I yelled. I said one of his clients' names, and he's like, "Hey, you know what, Lou? If you're watching, screw you too."
So
Good.
on the Real Housewives of New Jersey, the main couple, Melissa and Joe Gorga. Hopefully, I'm not going to get in trouble for saying his name. But it was all.
This is a reality show, everyone. Here we go again.
I love my reality show. So apparently, he was molested or raped by a female that I believe was either 14 or 16. And I think he was very young, but he didn't know that that was wrong. So in later years, he comes out to say that basically he was molested, raped. So that's what I mean. Like these people don't see a female as being a predator. He thought it was like a notch in his belt. My recollection of what I watched.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. Is someone that has no law enforcement background, what scares you the most about hearing these numbers? These questions are shocking to me, having the background in what I do, and to see a lot of it is digital. So meaning they're using Snapchats, they're using Instagrams, they're using Facebooks to entice these children to come out and see them and stuff. How do you feel about that? And obviously it's a generational thing because back when we were kids, we didn't have any of that. So basically we had a guy driving a van that would open up a sliding door that had this cool velour interior, and he'd be like, "You want to ride?" And us being kids, we're like, "Yeah, let's jump in."
You want some ice cream, some candy, some money.
So what do you feel about how this is now moved to like more electronic things, and people are using these types of things that we're doing right now in order to move forward on?
I think it's scary. I think it's disgusting. I think, parents are busy and these kids are so much smarter, at younger ages. Their time seems to be filled with phones, iPads, whatever. And there are people who are manipulators and they go on there and they entice them. So I don't know. Does the parent have to monitor and be on them, or should they not be, like, what's the word I'm trying to have so much access to be able to go on stuff and get seduced by these disgusting people?
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think you should only have limitations to turn around and give your children access to be free and to educate themselves through their own mistakes. But I think nowadays people are putting so much investments in children, saying, "Well, my child is 9, but they're really 16." No, your child is still 9. So when people say, "Oh, my kid," you see her, she looks like she's 12, but she looks like she's 19. Look how she dresses, or look, she's talking to this kid on this and that. So do you feel that parents now are too scared? Because I know me, my daughter's detached from me, and I am strict, and I am in making your bed, dress correctly, and that is me. And I hate to say that, but that's the way I am. And so how do you feel about how parents give a little too much? Do you feel they give a little too much access for their children right now that are kids? Like we're watching kids where I forget where we were, and the little girl had on a half shirt and a mini skirt, and we're like, what the hell, a long time ago. And I was just like, isn't that a little too young?
Yeah, super uncomfortable. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for saying this, but
I said, hey, it's a podcast. Say what you got
because
to
I
say.
worked in the beauty industry for so long, and I had a lot of female clientele from very wealthy areas. And I do remember there was a couple of the women who basically were living vicariously through their young girls who were stunning, beautiful, but they allowed them to wear the short shorts, allow them to wear, stuff that just exposed their body. But to them, they thought it was great because their daughter was the popular one because, she was on Facebook or whatever social media and just basically showing off her daughter being half naked.
So it's interesting you said that. So you being in the beauty world, owning a spa and doing all that stuff, when do you think is a corrective age? Not to talk about females at this time, but even males now that I'm seeing having commercials, putting makeup on and foundation. Either straight or gay. Everyone now is wearing makeup and doing stuff to their faces. When do you think is a suitable age for a female
Ooh.
or a male to start wearing makeup?
Well, it's just a
You
curiosity.
might have a couple of questions over there too.
I'll have to put my glasses on. But we grew up with a very strict Cape Verdean mother. I know. Laugh if you will. I couldn't wear leopard underwear. I couldn't wear any makeup. I couldn't do like high heels. And everybody who knows me, I'm a pocketbook junkie. I love fashion. I don't know. That's a hard question because mom kept me under the rocks for like, I don't know. I think I was still sneaking out the door.
Well, that's a lie.
To like 1920.
No, that's a lie because you were teen Miss Massachusetts and you wore makeup and did all that stuff. So how old was that? That was in that 14, 15?
1983. So it was probably like between 15 and 16.
So that's makeup. So we're seeing children now between the ages of 9, 7, 8, 9. You're watching Instagram. You're watching them publicize themselves out now and doing TikTok, males and females now. And then what skeeves me out, now take for instance, as we're talking about pieces of shits right now in plain English. I remember we used to go to a place called Club 54. My shout outs to the ones that got to catch this, to the crew we used to hang out. I found it so interesting that it was a 21 and under club, and you had to be 13 to get in there. So all of us were 14, 15. Okay. We would be in there. Yeah. We were in there, right? It stayed open all the way till I was 17. And then I got my Jeep and then drove there. But we were 13 years old. Peter DePisa, Dave DiChiara, Lou, Chris, all of us. Everybody in there. And now when I think of it at this age, I'm thinking to myself, what piece of shit is 21 years old that can get into a 21 years old club, shows up at a 21 and under club? How does that make any sense? Like, legitimately, if you think about it, a sexual offender, you're 17 and over.
Correct.
So why are you grouping potentially in a club scene, right? It wasn't non-alcoholic, but the older kids would go out and smoke a cigarette and do their nips and whatever outside and then come in or sneak in with them to hang out with us as kids.
Did they serve alcohol there?
No, they didn't. There was no alcohol.
You couldn't have a band?
Nope, there was no alcohol.
Well, I think that's creepy. I mean, if you think back.
So now if you think back of it, now they're using digital, but back in our day, don't you feel it was a setup for us anyways for that to happen?
Well, I never thought of it because
we were kids, but now you break it down.
I wanted to date an older guy, but I do remember going to the 18 over clubs, like what is it, Narcissus, whatever.
Yeah, Narcissus, the Palace, Rascals, Uptown.
Yeah,
all
and
that. Shout out to everybody that used to go.
And they would
Z Cavaricci's Rock.
Yeah, right. They would give you a band, but if you do think about it, like I remember going to Il Panino's, there'd be some sketchy older guys that were there, but we were.
Maria's giving you guys all the holler right now.
But I'm saying, like, my whole thing is when you're at a certain age as an adult, the thought of going out with somebody older can be appealing. But there is a line that is crossed with
So I find that
children.
interesting, Maria. What age does it become appealing? 9, 10, 12 years old? Oh my God. That guy's driving a Corvette. He's 21 years old. Maybe I could date him.
That's the difference. That is
I'm just trying to figure out.
No. I'm not saying that is
I
like
just think your ass should be beat. You're a piece of shit.
absolutely like you're taking away a child's like innocence, their life, their future, you know, and it's heartbreaking. But you can go back as far as Jean Bonnet. Look at how her parents.
Well, we
had
really
her-
don't know what happened to him.
We don't, but to look at that girl, she was stunning. She was gorgeous. Extensions, makeup, every bit of it, dressing sexy, doing all of that. So that was how many years ago, but they publicized that little girl and put her out in that forum where perverts and sick, twisted people wanted to be with that girl. So who knows what happened, but I do believe the fault lies on how parents manage how, you know, what the children do, how they look, like mom did. She was super strict.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I'm finding it interesting. So should the blames be placed on the parents? Because you kept saying how strictness now. So are you making a statement that you don't believe parents care as much as their children, or do you feel they're in fear of their children? Because I remember back, we used to see commercials all the time. Don't talk to strangers. There'll be a guy on a swing swinging back and forth.
Danger.
Yeah, stranger danger. What happened to that? Like, where did all that stuff go back when we were kids? And you got educated through the TV, Sesame Street, Welcome Back. Mr. Rogers, and they explain the bad man. Like, why isn't that now still happening? Like, what happened to society where we no longer have that?
Do you want my truth?
No, I want you to lie. You might have a couple of questions on there, so you might have to get up because that's too far for me to read. I'm gonna have to get binoculars, and when I see it.
I don't know. Can my cheaters help?
No, I can't see that. That's weird.
I truly believe that social media has just killed all the innocence for everything. I think these young girls are learning tutorials on how to look like the Kardashians or any of the people that they see on social media. They want to look like that, dress like that. I'm seeing younger and younger girls at the gym getting, what is it, the BBL?
Yeah.
And, you know, I just feel that social media makes you want to look like that beautiful person, that popular person. Hopefully you're going to get like a huge following, because is there an age limit even on social media that you can put yourself out there?
There's blocks now where you have to be 18 and over and have an adult, like, for like if somebody our age was to log on or they were to log on us, they would be denied. They would have to have their parents, which I believe just started. But it's funny you just said that, because so where we work out, right, LA Fitness, girls basically they don't wear anything. Guys basically don't wear anything. Everyone's wearing tank tops off and everything. And I sat there one day when I was on the Stairmasters, and I was just watching people staring at people, and it was disgusting the way, just in plain English, the way guys were looking at young girls. They weren't even working out in that area, but they went there to work out, which they weren't really working out, and they were just staring at them. And of course, you know, sometimes I'll say something and sometimes I'll just stare at them, and then they'll realize I'm staring at them and they'll stop staring at the person. But I watch, and I do believe you're onto something, meaning social media, when they see Kim Kardashian wearing an outfit and they're like, oh my God, she's barely wearing anything. It looks good. And because you're young and you're thinking that's where it's going to get you further on, and you start to dress like that. And the same thing with guys, you know, they see somebody and they idolize somebody and they're like, oh my God, that guy's jacked up. I'm going to jump on steroids and I'm going to get myself, you know, bigger. And I think so false perception of somebody you want to be, but you can't be because you're yourself, leads to bigger situations. So I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
Well, if you think back, going back, I mean, when was the last time Hollywood had a famous actor or actress. There hasn't been a time. I mean, I always think about Halle Berry and who's the Samoan guy, the Rock. No, what's the Jason Momoa?
Yeah, Jason Momoa that got married to what's in there.
Was. Yeah. But you don't really hear famous people. The only people that are famous now is the people who came up and rose hugely through social media. And what is it? It's posing, showing themselves, looking sexy and how to manage doing this or that, bikinis or whatever it is for gentlemen. So I think people make more money and get stardom via social media. And I think a lot of these young people, their perception is, well, if she did it, I can do it. If he did it, I can do it. And it's all by having your cell phone or your iPad or whatever, and you can be a millionaire. There's young kids that are all over social media that
absolutely.
They're millionaires. I forget which some of the reality shows.
One of them's worth $10 million or something. She's 16 years old, and what does she do? I forget what they said. She was a gymnast or something, and she's like 16 or just turned 17. She's one of the top followers, and it sickens me when you watch all the guys, older guys, even a soccer player asked her out, and the guy was like 30 years old. And I was like, what? And it was just throwing me off.
But a lot of the parents get involved also. I've seen a lot of,
see if there's
I've seen a lot of people
just get up and look.
Like their parents get involved in the show, and then they have all this money, and it's just a different world.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to try and squeeze my eyeballs over here. Putting them on video. Michael Cortez is watching.
All right. So listen, I just wanted to bring that up, but I love to say the word pieces of shit. So I want to close out by saying you're all pieces of shit. So all you predators and everything that's in here. Here's the truth. Predators don't look like monsters. They look like fathers. They look like neighbors. The quiet guy down the street, the happily married couple, even the elderly. 56 predators in 3 days. I want you guys all to think about that. 56 predators in 3 days. And those are just the ones who got caught. Okay. They're saying times that by 30. Okay.
Can I interrupt you really quick? We did a podcast a while back with Chris, and I said I was at Market Basket, and the little girl was stunning, gorgeous, probably between 12 and 14. Her shorts were so short, and her top was very small. And I think there are no limits or anything for anybody to walk into a grocery store and shop, correct?
Yeah.
So I watch perverts checking out the person, and you just kind of say to yourself, you're just not safe anywhere. So it's not just in your neighborhood. It's
the interesting fact, Maria, you just said you saw this little girl. So if you were to guess the age, how old would you think that girl is?
Between 12 and 14.
Was that girl shopping by herself?
She was with her mother.
So where do you put the blame? Is it on the child that knows, okay, I'm going to wear this because it's okay to wear it? Or is it the parent that says, oh my God, honey, that looks incredible on you. Let's go grocery shopping. Let's have half of your butt hang out. I know all these guys are going to stare at you, but it's okay. So where does it actually lie on?
Well, I'm going to turn into our mom, and I'm going to say that's the parents' fault, because mom never bought me or allowed me to have anything that she thought was not.
No, you would wait, put it in a Stop and Shop bag.
I did it.
Then when you went out, you would go get dressed at somebody else's house.
Yeah.
So that's how I know. So anyways, and those are just the ones who got caught. Today we expose them. We name them. We put their towns on the map. Okay? So we know where you all live. And if your people on the town next door didn't know you, rewind this, listen to the names. It's most likely somebody you know. Okay? So you got exposed, you pieces of shit. So predators, corruptions, and crime in mass. So we're going to move on. And I'm going to do another episode of another situation I kind of wanted to talk about. So I just got to make sure I get my notations right because sometimes I screw this up. All right. So segment 2, here we go. Crime around us. Okay. So Maria, this is what I find interesting about crime. Crime obviously gives us work. So obviously you work for the security company now, and you know that with more crimes, remind me to show you the video that we got today. Pretty interesting video. So today I want to discuss one thing. The police chief, right, got caught in a sex sting, right? Hey, Michael Alibozek. I don't even care if I say your name wrong. 53 of Cheshire, Mass. Do you even know what that is?
No.
Neither do I, and who cares? You're a loser.
Cheshire.
Yeah. The chief of police caught in Massachusetts, state police undercover operation. They arranged an online to meet who he thought was an escort. They sent the undercover. This disgusting line was what he said. My daughter will be home at 10:30, so it has to be a quickie. Okay? The chief said this to an escort, sent this to the undercover cop. Okay? Drove to Hoosac Valley Middle High School to do it.
Oh, so he knew that she was
Come on.
underage.
He was arrested on scene. They seized his gun, seized his badge, stripped it. Station access was revoked. Here's the question, Maria. How does it make you feel knowing the man enforcing the law in that town was buying sex in a school parking lot?
I'm not surprised. There was that, God, was it last year? The cop that was volunteering to do something at the high school, and he had a relationship with this young lady who ended up getting pregnant. Same time.
When you're saying young lady, are you saying a student from the school?
Yes.
Okay, so that to me is not a young lady. That's still a child.
Okay.
So you're a child.
So
You're in high school. You're a child.
And his wife was pregnant at the same time. The girl went missing, and it was all over the news. He killed her and his unborn baby. And I think he did it the day that his wife went into delivery. So for me, unfortunately, I'm not surprised. I think that it is tragic. You know, you want to trust people like officers or people who help abide the law, and they're masking their disgustingness behind it.
Okay. So my answer to this is you're a piece of shit too. So here's a guy. He's the chief of police, Maria. Chief of police. We know chief of polices. We know one that just got into the position. You're not talking somebody, Maria, that just walked off the streets. Somebody that just said, hey, listen, I want to be a cop. Now I'm a chief. You're talking about someone. Think about this, Maria, that dedicated himself as a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, your stepson is one. He's got to go through years, 2 years, whatever it is, apply for a sergeant's position, do that position for a little while, then take the test again, then become a lieutenant, wait a couple of years, take the test again, then become a captain, and so on and so forth. So you're talking about positions after positions after positions. So the reason why I'm saying that is, how many years did this piece of shit have on the department? If this is his first time getting caught, what else wasn't he caught for?
Exactly.
So now you have a man who has a badge or a female that has a badge that's abusing his powers. And I need people to understand, I just don't pick on criminals and convicts and felons. I pick on piece of shits that also work in my field because they're just as big as piece of shits too. Okay? So here I am trusting this guy who's basically pulled and ticketed so many people, probably did so many arrests, and to know that he's just a bigger piece of shit than anybody because he's violated. He used his power. He had his badge on him and a gun to go have sex with an escort in a high school parking lot. So what do you think what else he was going to do? He brought his badge and gun. So what do you do?
He's trying to exert his power.
Exactly. Exactly. So today is my piece of shit show. So I'm going to close with that one and we're going to move over. So obviously this has been going on for a little while, but I just thought that these should be added to my piece of shit show today. Okay? So the governor's aide, major drug trafficking, LaMar Cook, 45 of Springfield and Amherst. Oh my. Deputy Director of Governor Maura Healey's Western Mass office. Okay. Here's the interesting thing. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is 8 kilos of coke. Holy 8 keys of coke, kid. Oh my God, Maria, that's 8 kilos of coke. Oh, coke, I mean cocaine, not the ones you drink, everybody. So it was delivered. I love this. It was delivered to the state office building where he worked. Investigations uncovered a total. You ready for this? I don't even know how much this is worth, to be honest with you. And I kind of wish Chris was on because he could tell me. You ready for this one, Maria? Investigations uncovered a total of 21 kilos of coke on this dude. Okay, linked to 13 kilos at a hotel UMass, his former job. Also charged with illegal guns and ammunition. Political firestorm. GOP demanding answers from the governor. Maria, question. Someone working inside the governor's office, trafficking, cocaine. Does that shake your trust in leadership?
Of course it does. Didn't we just go through this whole thing with Epstein and all the names and what's going on politically and all the people that are on that list? Not surprised.
So this is what I find interesting, Maria. You got a guy that just got busted with 21 kilos of coke. Okay. Now, work in the prison system and hearing individuals that have done time, they love to talk. So they'll tell you exactly what they do, who they're connected to. They don't give you names, but they'll say, I get stuff from Cuba, or I get stuff from Methuen, I get stuff from Florida, go to Boca Raton, go here. You just listen, you're like, really? This guy works for the governor council, right? No one's going to trust you with 1 key. Okay. That's 1 key of cocaine, right? Mm-hmm. But you have 21 keys. That means you have to be heavily connected with someone or something. No one's trusting you with 21 kilos of coke. And on top of it, if they do trust you with 21 kilos of coke, where are you selling 21 kilos of coke? And obviously, this isn't new. You must have been in this for a very long time. Don't you think?
Are you saying that there's also like some kind of connect? Because I'm assuming with drug trafficking, it's not being made here in Massachusetts. It's coming from like where? Like Cuba, Mexico?
It's wherever. There's so many places
So
right
they're
now.
traveling.
I really couldn't answer you.
They're traveling with that. So you have to have some connection in order. I mean, we watch all those crazy shows.
We do. But here's the thing. It's no longer a show.
No, it's real life.
You're having someone that works for the governor in an office. 13 kilos of coke was in a hotel room. Forget about 13. How many keys of coke did this guy have before he finally got busted? I personally would like to know how he got busted. I want to. You don't have to give me the name. Just tell me.
Did someone rat you out?
Somebody snitched you out. What is it? Somebody that was your partner you refused to give $5,000 to, and he said, "You give me 55 grand, I'm gonna rat you out." You should have gave him the 5 grand, you cheapskate. You probably wouldn't have been caught. I'm so amazed by that.
Is he doing time?
It's all still under investigation right now. So you got to watch what you say, but he's a piece of shit too. So Boston City Councilor, another one, corruption. This one's kind of strange though, because this one's been going on for a little while. So this one, her name is Tania Fernandes Anderson. She's 55 from Roxbury, Dorchester, South. She lives in the South End. First African immigrant. She's Muslim American, which throws me total off.
I've seen your nose.
All right, on Boston. Why don't you say your family's name out loud? City Council. She was indicted for wire fraud and theft of federal funds. Mm-hmm. Her scam ordered staff, a relative, to give her $13,000 bonus. Then the staff withdrew the money. She took $7,000 cash back inside a city hall bathroom. She was sentenced to 1 month in a federal prison. So, Maria, how does it feel knowing the city council was slipping herself cash in a city hall bathroom like it was a drug deal?
Well, first of all, I don't remember if she's Cape Verdean or half
No,
Cape Verdean.
partial.
She's half Cape Verdean. So I'm like, come on, we're hard workers. Why are you doing this? I think people get greedy and they think they can get away with it.
So here's the problem. So I know for a fact that if I'm working for the state, one of the first things they ask you, do you have family members or anybody that works for this department? And they really frown on that because they don't want me and you working in the same place together or whatever. We can work for the same company, but not the same location. So that means you would have to go over there.
So is that favoritism and they don't want that? Or
well, it's favoritism, but also it could lead to corruption, meaning you're in there, me and you could work something in there and start to scam and develop something. The more family we have in there, the more control and interest we start to take over. So the interesting fact is, how was she able to bypass that to get her cousin on, then tell her cousin, listen, once you get on, I'm going to give you bonuses and you're just going to give me half the bonus back in cash. So I'm kind of confused. And how did it make it that far?
I don't know. I just feel like with each path and step that they take, there has to be some kind of help or manipulation or lying. I mean, what can I say? I don't know. If you're telling me that the companies such as or corporations in places like this that hire people don't want them, to work with what's it, nepotism?
Yes.
That they don't allow the families to work, then how did it happen? Did they lie? Did she lie? Are people covering it up? I don't know.
My thing is this. Obviously, you're very intelligent to be placed in a position like that. So you're very intelligent to understand that was wrong. So now you brought street into a position where it's not street. It's through education and through drive and through everything that you've did to put yourself in a position like that, to make the money you made. And you busted your ass to put yourself in that position. Why would you be dumb enough and stupid enough to risk it all?
Because you thought you can get away with it.
That's right. So listen, you're a piece of shit. So I got a thing. So just recently, and this is throwing me off. This one's really throwing me off, no matter how I look at it. Former mayor stabbed outside his business. He was a victim. Will Flanagan from Fall River. The attacker was Corey Gonzalez, 31, former Fall River mayor. Ambushed outside his dispensary. Gonzalez stabbed him multiple times. Caught on video, sneaking up from behind, charged with armed assault to murder. Okay, Flanagan says he's a Powerball lucky to be alive. Maria, if a former mayor isn't safe outside his own business, where does that leave regular people? But this is where I find it interesting. So he's a former mayor. He gets stabbed coming out of his dispensary, jumped in the back. And obviously, wrong place, wrong time. I know this because, got shot. Wasn't anybody I knew. Wasn't anything, not even an interaction with him, not even a knowledge of him. And I got shot. But I'm finding it interesting that the mayor came out of his dispensary and somebody shot him. And that's all they say.
Stabbed him?
Stabbed him. I'm sorry. Stabbed him. Don't you find that interesting? Like, I would like to know why. Did they have a past history? Was there possibly something more to this story? Like, how do you just say mayor comes out of his dispensary and was stabbed? Like, it seems empty to me.
So he owned the dispensary?
It's his dispensary.
No judging.
No. But I'm just saying, he's the former mayor, so he can own a dispensary. Did he probably open up the dispensary because he was the ex-mayor?
And if he's successful, maybe this person was casing the joint or whatever, or someone assuming that he was going to have they make a ton of money. So maybe they thought that they were going to get money out of it because nothing was said about that, correct? He was just
Mhm.
stabbed and left
Yep.
there for dead. Yeah, there's more to the story, obviously.
All right. So one of the ones that kind of showed some interest on me, only because our mother receives calls from the IRS, Social Security, asking her for stuff, and we tell her they don't call. They write you letters. So to all family members, make sure you tell your parent nobody from the IRS is going to call you. Nobody from Social Service is going to Social Security office is going to call you. Mass law states you receive a letter. So I find it interesting because mom a little while ago had a guy walking up to the house, probably about 3 to 4 years ago, says, "Oh, the guy's doing a driveway down there. He came up." And I says, "Oh, okay. Oh, he said he could do the driveway for this." I said, "Mom, he's a he's fake. Don't do it." And the people down the street ended up getting robbed. But I find it interesting that $15,000 doorstep scam is what I call it. Ying Peng Luo, 35, Revere 2, Essex. He walks up to a homeowner in Essex, claims their computer has a virus, demands $15,000 in cash to fix it. Victim calls the police after giving
Oh my
$15,000.
gosh.
Right? Lou was arrested. So I just thought that was, I feel bad for them, but I thought it was kind of funny. So my question, Maria, is imagine someone coming to your door demanding 15 grand. And what does that tell you about scams today? It's like, explain to me how a person that's older than us, when do you realize it's a scam? I know right now, if someone just knocks on the door and goes, "Oh, I ended up detecting a virus on your computer," I'd be like, "Dude, get the hell out of here." Yeah, I'll call people myself. But when do you realize that you're being scammed?
I'm embarrassed to say that I almost did.
Oh, God.
I do not have, well, the story is basically I got a call and this gentleman said that my bank account with Bank of America had been compromised and he wanted some information from
Shout out
me.
to Cindy, because I know this happened to Cindy.
And he continued to go on. And obviously, my husband, Steven, is listening to the phone call and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "They just told me my Bank of America just got scammed." He's like, "You don't have Bank of America." And I was willing to give this guy all my information. I was panicked because I felt like I was compromised and it didn't even dawn on me. I don't even have a Bank of America account. So I think you get scared and you automatically want to help. Just like people were getting scammed that their grandkids were being held hostage and the grandparents had to send money. They get panicked.
That happened big in MIT when I was there.
Yeah, it's sad.
So it was big. So I threw that in because I was like, "Oh my God, how 15,000? Why?" I'm like, why would they have $15,000 right in their house anyways at that age? So that kind of threw me off. And how did the guy know?
Did I embarrass you by saying that I almost got scammed?
Yes, Maria, especially knowing what I do. So that throws me off. So we're going to jump into human trafficking ring since it's been huge right now. So North Shore in Boston, lead arrest, Su Ping Zhu, 38. Flushing, I'm sorry. So Flushing, New York. He was arrested in Methuen. Woman found living in basements of massage parlors, folded blankets, no windows, prostitution ads running online. It was a boarding house. It was operations spanning from Methuen, Boston, Quincy, and Malden. Zhu was charged with deriving support from prostitution, trafficking for sexual servitude, keeping a house of ill fame. I really don't know what ill fame means, but it just looked so good when I was reading and I decided to add it.
For the wrong purposes.
Oh,
I
okay.
think. I'm not sure.
Okay. So, Maria, let me ask you something because lately this seems to be, I guess Massachusetts has been getting crazy. Does this shock you that women are being trafficked in the basement right here? I'm sorry, in Massachusetts?
No.
Hmm.
We
So-
had a case in Woburn. And then people that have a business in Woburn were on the news all over. They were in a building in Stoneham, and they currently have a business in Woburn. Still happening. Don't mention names, but someplace I used to rent from, I believe there was prostitutions.
Of course they were upstairs.
Yeah, and immigrants.
They always showed up.
Yep, immigrants that were being underpaid and overworked and not kept in a good situation. So yes, unfortunately, I know what happens.
This is right next door too.
Yeah.
And you don't even know it.
Nope.
So 7.5 kilos of fentanyl drug lab in Boston, Chinatown, and South End. Names have not been released. Police seized over 5 kilos of fentanyl, enough to kill hundreds of thousands. Pills operating inside Boston. I'm so confused that this product called fentanyl, this product that's I don't even know. The amount of drugs just seems like it's starting to be overwhelming. I know back in our day it was acid and cocaine and weed. Teas, acid, weed, this and that. Now there's so many drugs I can't even pronounce. The drug fentanyl is out killing everybody. We have friends that lost their children to this, and I pray for them every day, and I wish them nothing but the best. But what do you think's going on that fentanyl ends up being the new kick right now, and freaking all this, everything has fentanyl in it. Like I'm so confused about it. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm not around all this stuff, but I had some clients, especially in Woburn. I guess there was
Maria likes to give a lot of shout out to Woburn there, huh?
We're from Woburn. The client that I had basically stated that she kept going to more and more funerals of these kids who OD'd, and it was all through Woburn. She said it was like an epidemic there, like it was bad. So I don't know. I mean, they were popular drugs when we were kids.
What, fentanyl?
No, I don't. I mean,
I've never heard of fentanyl until recently.
I mean, I've heard of that, but I don't know really what it's all about. But I think people lace it. But I have a question about that. So, like, there was something said in regards to the drug users were lacing the drugs with fentanyl.
Yeah.
But why would you want to kill people who are making you money?
The goal isn't to kill people. The goal is to get them a better high with a cheaper product, so they can cut with fentanyl instead of using a nisantol and different types of other cutting agents. For instance, formaldehyde they used to use to cut, a nisantol they used to use to cut. So now they're cutting with the fentanyl, and you're getting such a great high off it if you don't die, that it's worth it.
And it's addictive.
So somebody had made a great comment saying, once you do your first hit, you're somewhere that you would never imagine to be.
Is that with fentanyl or heroin?
Any type. So heroin was what the person was speaking of. And it just becomes so addictive because everything in your endorphins, everything in your brain just puts you to another elevation. But like I explained, like any drug, it's only for the moment unless you keep taking it. Yeah. So why give yourself that quick high and then come back down and then have you depend on more of the high again? So the interesting part is after they busted these people, they found press machines, which obviously that's to break down the product and then press it together. Cutting agents, packaging tools, full drug manufacturing setups. So it's interesting that you can bring that much equipment into a house, into a location, and no one sees that it's being set up. Nobody knows that this and that. I'm not going to lie. When I'm standing in my neighborhood and I'm seeing a lot of shit going on, I'm like, who the hell are these people? They're getting a lot of packages. And I do pay attention because I know I live there and I don't want the bullshit coming to my house. So I find that pretty interesting. Anything closed out on that one before we move on?
Oh, we had that crazy neighbor that had a refrigerator, huge box delivered to the house. The truck that stopped to deliver it had no name on it. And these guys, if you remember who I'm talking to, that lived across the street from us, they got out and helped these guys move the refrigerator in. And he had just told me probably a week prior to this delivery that he was good friends with somebody who used to sell very expensive pocketbooks. And miraculously, that
You got a new pocketbook?
no, I didn't get it. Well, I mean, trust me, I wanted one. But no, they got hit and robbed, and they definitely said it was
Somebody
somebody
stole
that
his
knew him,
fridge?
and he knew that woman who owned the store. But the delivery didn't make sense. Like it will say Frigidaire, Maytag, or whatever. It said nothing. The truck that delivered this empty box, well, box full of purses, had no name on it and nothing. But I'm watching them all lift it. And then afterwards, all over breaking news that this woman got robbed.
So, Maria, did you want the fridge?
No, I didn't want the fridge. I wanted the purse, but I wouldn't want it illegally.
You heard it right here.
I mean, who doesn't want a Chanel bag or a Louis?
Not me. So listen, I'm going to move on to that. Everett home invasion, a gunfight inside a home. Names are also sealed. 2 masked men broke in. They pistol whipped the owner. The homeowner fired back. Gunfight in a residential house. Suspects arrested. Maria, imagine relaxing at your home and a masked man breaks in your house. What do you even do?
I'd probably scream, panic.
So here's the interesting part, Maria. You have an LTC. So I think this guy acted accordingly. Someone broke in his house. He had nowhere to go. He pulled out his gun and goes, "Welcome to my house," and shot at him. So you, my friend, are ace in my life. Great job. Too bad you didn't hit them to teach them a lesson not to walk in your house. So any comment on that?
Did he get arrested?
What, the owner?
Yeah.
Hell no, that was his house.
Yeah.
He followed everything that you're supposed to follow. He didn't impact anything on the law. He followed everything that should. So this one, because my wife likes to watch Chicago Fire, I think it's called. And she's always watching it. And she's always like, oh, this is going to happen next. Oh, my God, that guy's an arsonist and this and that. So I find this one interesting. Brockton, serial arsonist. Haven't heard of one in a long time.
That's a crazy one.
Yep. He was an arsonist, name not released, but he was linked to 3 fires, abandoned houses, garage, dumpsters next to a daycare. You're a piece of shit. Next to a daycare. Charged with multiple accounts of arson. Maria, what do you think when someone sets a fire next to a daycare? That's why I brought that one up.
Well, I can't remember how I found this fun tidbit.
Didn't know that fun tidbit's attached to an arsonist.
Well,
but
okay. No. It's just so crazy, like how different types of people, there's something about that, whatever creepiness that they're doing, it makes them aroused. So I heard that arsonists get sexually aroused. They said that they usually stand back and watch the fire.
I think that was on Chicago Fire. If Dr. Wong was on, we could probably ask her, but that does sound familiar.
No,
but I thought it was on the
phone,
TV.
but I do remember hearing it, and I thought that is so crazy. Like this person, they said they're usually in the crowd watching the fire, and it's some kind of sexual erotic thing for them.
So this guy should be investigated for being a pedophile,
Totally.
because if that's why he's near a daycare, and if that's actually true, then you're a piece of shit. Yeah, screw it. You're a piece of shit.
Creepy.
So it's funny you had brought up that story, because one of my other parts of it was North Shore elderly scam ring. Salem, Lynn, Peabody, and Beverly. This crew pretended to be police, told seniors their family members were in custody and needed cash bail, stole over $250,000. Names are pending. Investigation is ongoing. Maria, how do you feel hearing seniors were manipulated and drained of their savings? I might have to put you in that senior place since you almost had the same scam run on you. So what do you think about that? And then I have a little story on mine.
I got a little story on mine.
You already told you almost got robbed.
No, this post me on, everybody thought was so sweet and so kind. And I always thought there was a little something about him that was odd. And apparently he was told not to go back to one of the senior citizen homes in Woburn.
The one I know?
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't he dating the lady?
No, that's a whole other subject.
Yeah,
we don't want to get into that. No, I have my opinion about him, but I'm not going to say. Regardless, he was going to the old folks' home, acting really sweet and kind, and they thought he was great. that he basically would play cards and whatever. Come to find out from another postman, he was banned from the elderly home because he was taking their money. He was stealing little by little, and he stole candy from my spot.
So don't you think he should have been paid extra for delivering the mail? I thought that was a good one. So listen, I got a better one. This is a scam. So I'm working MIT. I had a supervisor, and I'm gonna say her name out. So I'm gonna give her a shout out. Her name is Mia Burrows. She was incredible. I took her off as a desk attendant position, and I made her a supervisor. One day I'm in my office and I'm waiting because I have to go meet the other directors and dean because we had to discuss some plans with the MIT, some structure with SEMO and stuff. So I'm waiting. I'm on the phone with my boss, and I hear this on my door. I'm obviously this is an awkward noise. Yes, Mia, I'm telling your story. I open up my door. It's Mia. She has her phone like this going, Mia, you are a ugly ass crier, by the way. So I'm gonna let you know. Her mouth was open and she's like, and I go, Mia, what's wrong? What's wrong? She goes, my mother. My heart drops in my stomach. I said, what's wrong with your mother? She goes, and I could hear the person yelling on the phone. So I told her to hit mute. She hits mute. She goes, my mother got kidnapped. All of a sudden, I went from being nervous to being interested. And I said, your mother's kidnapped? She goes, they have her. And I'm like, what are they telling you? So she goes, and I could hear the guy going, Mia, Mia. So I go, how does he know your name? She goes, I told him. I go, I'm sorry, Mia, I'm confused right now. I go, hey, put it on speaker. Puts it on speaker. The guy goes, I got your mother. I'm going to shoot her. Go to Bank of America and this and that. Is that where you have your account? She said, no, it's at Citizen. He goes, that's where you meet me at Citizen on Washington Street. So I'm watching and I said, as I'm waving her, and Mia's on the couch now, rolling around, crying. I said, Mia, look at me, look at me. I said, give me your mother's number. She goes, they have her. And all of a sudden, you hear the guy saying the mother's name. And all of a sudden, you hear, I'm going to shoot her in the leg. And they do this. And I knew it was a slap on the table. And you hear a person, ah! So I called her mother after she dialed. And I go, Mrs. Burrows. She goes, who's this? I go, it's Filipe. She goes, oh, Filipe, how are you? I go, a lot better than you. I said, you've been injured. She goes, what do you mean? I said, Mia's on the phone. They kidnapped you. She goes, who kidnapped me? I'm in my house. I says, I have no idea. So I go, Mia. So Mia goes, my mother. And I hit the speaker and I go, here's your mom. She wants to say hi. Her mother goes, why are you dumb? Mia came off the couch and started going, what's up, bitches? You got my mother? And started going plain out gangster. But these people were doing it across to all MIT people. Really? And some of these students believed them and they went and met them at the banks and gave it. So there was a big MIT police, and thank God they have John DeFava, the retired colonel of Mass State Police, that actually put a quail to all the situations. But it goes to show you how deep a scam is and how it can touch you, especially if they play it upon someone you love.
Right.
So I just thought that was a little interesting part of a story that happened to me. So
by the way, you're an ugly crier too.
Yeah, I cry. Listen, I just had some silicones put in my tear ducts because I don't tear up. So now I can't stop tearing up. So what's the gas station shooting? Suspects name pending. Argument at the pump, okay? At the pump. Guy pulls out a gun, fires multiple rounds at a Cumberland Farms, bullets hitting cars and pumps, arresting pending. Maria, hopefully you don't go to a gas station and pumped up, but I guarantee she doesn't because she doesn't know how to push the lever. But
I do.
Now there are shooting at gas stations. How insane is that, Maria? Tell me how you would feel if you pulled up and the next thing you know, they're shooting. Would you drive off with the pump nozzle in your gas thing screaming?
Probably. But I mean, was there an altercation? Because I want to yell at people.
Obviously, an argument would be an altercation, so it's a verbal altercation, but to pull a gun out.
So you know that when you pull in and you know you've eyeballed number 3 is where you're going to get your gas, and then somebody who
everyone, this is Maria's road rage. That's why I wanted to end on this part, because I knew she was going to come up with, you should pull a gun out if someone took that while you were waiting.
Well, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying everybody, you're in a rush, you got a time limit or whatever, you got to get the gas, crap. So you're waiting for number 3, and all of a sudden ding dong comes from out of nowhere and pulls in. I don't know if I'd necessarily use the gun, but I would definitely.
Hold on, go back. I don't know if I would necessarily use a gun.
But I have a big mouth. I'd be like, hey, asshole, I was waiting. And he might be a lunatic. He might shoot me because he doesn't want to listen to me.
So I'm going to tell you something funny. So the other day, I pull into D&B.
Oh, your favorite store.
Yep. I go down there, get my scratch tickets, my shout out to my guys down there. And I waited for this guy to pull out because I always tend to grab the same parking space.
That's a messy parking lot.
Yeah. So the guy pulls out, and then this other guy pulls in and pulls right in. Saw my blinker on and everything. Mm-hmm. So he jumps out, looks right at me. I say nothing. I park on the other side. I get out of the car. I walk in behind him. Nick's sitting there. Hey, Filipe. I said, what's up, brother? I said, you know my number. The guy looks behind me. And he goes, oh, I didn't know you were waiting for the parking space. I said nothing. I just stood there, kept staring at Nick. He goes, hey, sorry about that. Still said nothing. Then he says, can I buy you something? I said, staring at Nick. So Nick goes, like, what's that about? So I go, oh. I said, I had my blinker to pull in the spot, and this asshole decided to pull right into it. But it's all good, because as long as he beats me out forward, it means I'm going to get a lucky ticket. I ended up getting the ticket, and I hit a K.
Of course.
So to me, I looked at it this way. Because I stayed calm.
Yes.
It was blessed that he took the same ticket from the same row.
Right.
And I said, Nick, give me the lowest number. And he goes, oh, lowest number's from the same pile. But it's on ticket he just pulled. I go, give it to me. And it still hit a K. So to me, as you say, sometimes in life, there's a reason why somebody's telling you to wait a little bit longer.
Absolutely.
There's a reason behind it.
Yeah. Well,
There's
you did a
it.
podcast on this, and I was talking about my road rage, and you basically was saying to be calm and zen and all that good stuff. And
I never was. You know that. I used to flip out on
me,
everything.
Complete metamorphosis.
I used to punch windshields, jump out. Let's do this. And look, and it just.
I mean, that's awesome. God bless you, because your sister doesn't have any of that.
Yep. You end up being me at a later time. So listen, full finisher, closing. So Maria, predators behind screens, police chiefs in school parking lots, right? Government aides moving kilos, city councilors taking cash in bathrooms, former mayors getting stabbed, scammers at your door, traffickers in our neighborhoods, fentanyl labs in the city, arsonists next to daycares, shooting at gas stations. This is Massachusetts right now. And that's why Security Tales is here, to expose it, to tell about it, and to keep people aware. My name, once again, is Filipe Monteiro. This is Security Tales. This is my beautiful sister, Maria, that filled in today. This is Security Tales, and we'll see you on the next one. That's it.
Namaste.
And I appreciate it. One thing I'd like to say is I want to give a shout out to Dr. Winnie Wong for last night. For those of you that missed it, please take a look at it. It was an incredible opportunity that I had to meet a friend of Dr. Wong's, Dr. Pfefferman. Yes, and he's a pancreatic cancer doctor, gastrointestinal and all that stuff. And it was very, very well put. My sister and I have 2 uncles that just went through a Whipple. And they're the what's the word I'm looking for? The family. Like without them, all of us wouldn't be together.
They're like the patriarchs.
Yeah, they're the patriarchs of our family. They're the ones that keep us all together. And mad respect to them and in their fight that they've already won. They both had pancreatic cancer, one a little worse than the other. And they dealt with it as troopers. They ended up having Whipple done, which is half of your system taken out and stuff. And Dr. Pfefferman was explaining it yesterday. Was an incredible opportunity to have that. And I definitely want to give the shout out to the doctors that had helped Dr. Delphine Liu and Dr. Kelly Cornell and also Dr. Winnie Wong. We also did a breast cancer one. Also, we couldn't go live because we got banned for a week due to the fact that I put a peel in. I had a friend of mine that came in with some guns. That's an FFL seller dealer. And personally, I don't know how all this works. And I thought it was okay. So I do extend my apologies on that. I shouldn't have done it, but now I know that we can't go live with weapons. So I do extremely apologize. So I had to upload that video, but that was about breast cancer. And we had some incredible doctors on that day also.
Yes.
So please go back, review those videos and watch it. Today is the month is pancreatic cancer month. And it's one of the most silent killers there, everyone. Silent. You won't even know you have it until it's late. So please watch that video. And also please, females and males, please watch the breast cancer ones with the doctors on. They were very educational, and that is preventable, and you need to stay on that. Some females feel like, oh, I was good last year, I don't have to do it this year. No, look, use it. We're here to help you understand it, and I've been blessed to be attached to the people that I am, and we're gonna have many other doctors. I'm actually in the mix right now with a psychiatric doctor, and I'm probably gonna have him doing it and analyze me on live air to see where it was. Yes. I used to love my psychiatrist back in the day when I was a child, Dr. Fontes. The only problem I had with him was he gave me a Holly Hobbs lunchbox, and I don't know why.
Mom gave you that?
Mom gave it to us, but he gave me a that's right. He gave me a notebook that had flowers in it, which was my secret notebook. And I was like, what the hell is this about?
Yeah, that ain't good.
So that would be great. I would have the psychiatrist on. You guys get to watch him break me down and see what it's about. But hey, everyone, thank you so much. For those of you that are watching right now, be blessed. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys watching everything that you do. The ones on Facebook, I appreciate you guys also. I do have a streamline on TikTok, which I'm going to start streaming on because so many followers are asking for it. So I'm not versed in it yet, but I will do that. But Maria, I really appreciate you taking your time. Since you're on my payroll anyways, and you got to sit here doing nothing and sit beside me and still get paid.
I know.
But thank you so much for joining me, everyone.
Thank you for having me.
You guys all have a blessed day, and a shout out to everyone.
Namaste.
All right. Thank you.